This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
We're standing here at the kever of Rabbi Avram Yaakov Pam, Rav Pam, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha. He lived 88 years from 1913 to 2001. When one thinks of Rav Pam, one thinks how the Torah is Deracheha Darchei Noyam V'chol Nisivoseha Shalom. One thinks of the sweetness of character of the true Talmidei Chachamim. Rav Pam was a Rebbe for 6 decades, and in the course of his career he taught more than 2,000 students in his classrooms, but his influence extended well beyond his classrooms. If you want to sum up the success he had with his Talmidim, perhaps we could sum it up in a response he once gave to Rav Reisman Shlita, when Rabbi Reisman asked, sometimes you see Rabbeim who are burnt out, how does Rebbe make sure that they always have Hatzlacha in teaching? And Rav Pam responded, see, some Rabbeim teach Gemara, so if they teach Gemara, so they're teaching the same Gemara every year, they're in danger of losing their sipuk. Don't teach Gemara, teach Talmidim. Focus on the person, not the subject. Rav Pam was a paragon of humility. He wore a normal business suit, a turned-down brim, and he sat in the middle of the Beis Medrash among the Talmidim. At his Levaya, he insisted that there should be no Hespedim, except for a farewell from his oldest son, Rav Aaron, because he said he didn't want to go to the world of truth with a false passport. Rav Pam was admired for his soft-spoken nature, and this is something that Rav Pam certainly from his own beautiful midos, but something that he learned from his mother. He would say over that when asked, how does one train children to be respectful? He responded that children learn not only from what they see from their parents, but more specifically they learn from the way the parents speak to them. He would say in his home, his mother, even when it was hectic on an Erev Shabbos, she would shower such praise on the children, and one cannot help but think that this is a midah that the Pam was influenced from his mother. In fact, he said his mother's speech was Raina Shabarayna. His mother's speech was of the purest. There's a humorous anecdote when some Talmidim had a little bit of an argument of whether a certain word was nivel peh or not, so they sheepishly went to Rav Pam and said, there's certain words that are not exactly nivel peh, and Rav Pam said, you mean like the word fres? And then they realized that the word that they were thinking about was far worse. But this is Rav Pam, always so careful in every dibur that he said. Rav Pam taught for basically over 6 decades. 1997, Rav Pam discovered Le'aleinu he had a serious illness, he would need surgery. And he mentioned that he had been mispalel, that he should be zoicher to teach Torah for 60 years. And in 1997, it was 59 years. He began his career in Torah Vodaas in 1938 as a bacher, and actually Rav Pam taught another 4 years. He taught a total of 63 years. Interesting, in Rav Pam's humility, he was once asked, is it true that the Rosh Hashiva knows Daled Chalkei Shulchan Aruch, the 4 Chalakim of Shulchan Aruch? And he responded, normally one is allowed to lie about what they know and say, no, I don't know Gemara, I don't know Masechta, but when it comes to Shulchan Aruch, every Jew must know Daled Chalkei Shulchan Aruch. So the answer is yes, I do know Daled Chalkei Shulchan Aruch. At the end of Rav Pam's life, he's surrounded by a few dozen of his Talmidim, who were davening at his side for the last 6 hours of his life. They said the Seder Shchiv Meira, they reached Shema Yisrael, the Talmidim closed their eyes, and when they reached Echad, Rav Pam's neshama left. He left this world, surrounded by his Talmidim, Yatzasa Nishmasai Be'echad, Zechusai Yagein Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael. Amen.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.